Have you ever wondered how to make traditional sorghum beer Umqombothi? Well, Brewmaster Nxusani-Mawela joins us to show us how. She's the host of the Umqombothi Master Class in Soweto this week. Very good morning to you.
Good morning, how are you?
Very good, and you?
I'm good, thank you.
I think I'll be better after a sip of that. Before we get there, how do you make it?
So the main brand that we use, that I've used since I started making Umqombothi, is King Khan. So it's sorghum, it's a malted sorghum. You can actually see it.
Okay.
So it's grind malted sorghum.
Right.
So we mix this
We
with.
can aim that there without it spilling over. Yep.
Yes. So we mix this with maize meal. So first thing we do is we mix it up with warm water and leave it overnight to sour. So when you do the tasting, you actually taste a bit of a sour note, which is from the lactic acid fermentation. Thereafter, we then boil to cook the sorghum and the maize. We then cool it down, add a bit more water, allow it to ferment, sieve it out, and then you drink it.
That's it?
Yes.
As simple as that? Well, no, I'm sure there must be some little hidden secrets there that you're not going to tell us.
One thing I've learned is obviously every woman that makes it, because traditionally it is made by women back in the villages. Now I'm trying to, obviously through this campaign that we're running, is bring it back to the urban areas, because what I've noticed that as women, as we leave our villages and coming to Joburg and the Cape Towns and the Durbans, we actually forget, and our grandmothers don't have anybody back home to actually pass on the tradition.
And obviously the tradition here in urban areas is pretty strong. I mean, is it still done in the traditional way? Are there other ways to sort of expedite the process?
So there are other ways of expediting the process. There's something called the quick brew that King Khan also has, where it's like instead of taking 4 days, because this process will take, as much as I went through it quite fast, it's actually 4 to 5 days, depending on the different methodologies people use. I've also, I mean, for me, because my passion is reviving Africa, reviving our tradition, and showcasing to the world that as Africans, we've been actually making beer for centuries before it was actually discovered in the what you call the Western world. So, I mean, I've got the sorghum pilsner, which I use some King Khan in actually making a traditional pilsner beer, clear, but with a bit of King Khan.
So you talk about the traditional in the Western world. I mean, how does this differ in popularity, and what would you describe the difference in taste? I mean, this, as you say, it's a little bit more sour. Right?
So, I mean, in the Western world, at the moment, there's quite a big beer style called the sour, which is taking over the US, taking over UK. And for me, when I give Umqombothi to people to taste, I say, you know what, if you've had a sour beer before, you will definitely enjoy Umqombothi. But within the African cultures, I mean, we've been drinking the beers for years. I grew up, every ceremony that we have. I mean, I remember when I got my first car, got my first job, I was summoned by my father to go back home in the Eastern Cape, and I needed to make Umqombothi for the ancestors and thank them.
So culturally, it's very important.
Yes, it's part of our celebrations when we have weddings, funerals. It's actually something that we use it in every occasion.
And clean?
Yes.
I mean, there are no special additives that you pop in there that might prolong its life?
No, because I'm a master brewer by profession, so I've got a master brewer qualification from the Institute of Brewing and Distilling. So I've learned the science of brewing, and it's something that I've actually mixed up with the tradition to understand how traditionally we've been making the beers. For an example, when my mothers took me through the process, they taught me that you actually feel with your elbow the temperature, and you would know when the temperature is right. And we obviously know that you measure with the thermometer, and you know exactly what temperature you're targeting. So for me to actually combine the two worlds has been quite exciting journey, and seeing how similar actually the principles are.
All right. May I taste it, please?
Yes. In our culture, obviously, I have to take the first sip.
Yes.
So we first swallow it up a bit, and the reason why we do that, because it's sitting. We call this ukamba. It's been sitting in here for a while, so you've had a bit of the sedimentation happen. So I just swell it up a bit, and during that process, I can also just talk to the ancestors and say whatever message I want to say, thank them for whatever blessings. So you do this,
Yeah.
Take a bit of show a bit of respect. Take a sip.
Yep.
And you can take more if you want.
Well, I can't. My calves won't keep me up like this.
And you get that, so you're getting a bit of a grainy, malty character. Different people make it different consistencies. Some people make it more thick. Mine is a bit of medium. It's not too watery, it's not too thick, but you get that tinge of a sour. So it's not a acetic acid vinegar sour. It's more of a lactic acid, which is what we usually looking for. Yeah,
it's incredible taste, very different. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Now,